Boom, shakalaka boom. You've tuned in to the free range human show of choice, your daily dose of reality radio. It starts right now. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I am, of course, Clay Edwards, coming at you live here on a FAFO Friday on the Clay Edwards Show on the 50,000 watt blowtorch. We need a blowtorch this morning to kind of frigid out there again today. It's going to warm up a little bit more today. I think the high is 67. It didn't get out of the 40s yesterday. The first time I've actually skipped my workout because it was just too dang cold outside to do it. Yes, I'm weak. And I didn't feel very good yesterday, but I'm back. I'm 100% today. I do apologize to everybody for having to dip out on that second hour yesterday. But, man, when it hits you sometimes. It was a much better show with Andrew stepping in for the second hour than me trying to limp across the finish line. I want to thank Andrew Gosser for being a great pinch hitter for us, a relief pitcher, however you want to say it. It's nice when you got that kind of guy sitting in the back waiting for his thing. Put me in, coach. Put me in, coach. And I thought Andrew's content yesterday, if you missed it, it played very good with my first hour being completely against school choice and Andrew, him being forward in some aspects. And I respect that. And I thought it played a very good yin and yang. And that's what I really like. I think that's when talk radio is at its best. Is when you can respectfully have different opinions. And even though we didn't get to talk it out one-to-one, I got to give, if you guys listened for the whole show, and I hope you did, you got to hear my half, and then you got to hear Andrew's half. Because, Andrew's on from 10 to noon every day. You may not get to listen to him because you're not in the car, you're at work, whatever the case may be. So I thought that went really well. And we're gonna talk about school choice in the second hour today. We're going to punt to the second hour because I know that's what a lot of y'all are tuning in for. Is I'm going to make you wait. I'm going to make you wait. No, we got Fred Shanks is going to call in hour two, and Fred stood strong. I want to give a shout out to the ones off the top of my head that I know stood strong here in Central Mississippi. Fred Shanks, Jill Ford, Lance Varner, and I haven't looked at the whole list yet. I'm not intentionally leaving anybody out. Those are just three conservative Republicans that listened to their constituents and not leadership and did what their constituents wanted them to do. And, and it ain't always about the constituent. I know that sounds bad. I know people think it is and it should be. But sometimes, we elect these people because it's a representative government. And we go that's why it matters. That's why local elections matter. Because we put the faith in them to do what we think to do what they think we would want them to do. And, so sometimes they got to go with their gut. And that ain't always going to be what they think, what everybody's telling them. So anyway, it takes a lot of nerve. It takes a sack, figuratively speaking, to go against leadership and do what they think is the right thing. So I want to give those three here off the top of my head. And there was 59 others, I guess, or not 59 others, 56 others who voted no as well. And like I say, I'll look at the list later, and we'll make sure that we give all of our local guys their props and girls. So kudos to them because leadership came down hard. I mean, there was lots of threats. I'm already hearing that funding for projects is being pulled, not going to be approved. I mean, I know for a fact that Jason White and Tate Reeves told on the House side, told these representatives that if you vote against school choice, we are not going to fund your districts. We're not going to give you any money. And we're going to pay to primary you. I mean, Tate straight up said, I got a war chest and I will primary you if you vote against school choice. So it took a lot of courage for these folks to stand up and not allow Hell's Gate to open and Jackson thugs, YNs, to flood our surrounding school districts. There, I said the quiet part out loud. We don't want that trash in our schools, period. And it was just a bad bill. And I know it passed the House. It ain't going to pass the Senate. It passed the House. But, you got a lot of people that run these, I keep calling them conservative think tanks. And they think they're smarter than you. They think they're smarter than me. They think those little mahogany frames up on the walls with all their little pretty pieces of paper in it from whatever college make them smarter than us. Now, they may be book smarter than Clay Edwards, but Clay Edwards has got real life experience. I got a lived experience that you can't come close to, that no college degree is ever going to make you smarter than me. And furthermore, one thing that Clay knows without a shadow of a doubt, and I've been in the room with some really, really smart people. The one thing that Clay knows is anybody who has to constantly tell you how smart they are dumb as a rock. They're insecure and they just don't know diddly poo. Diddly poo. Don't know what? Diddly poo. It's like the guy who's always telling you that he can fight. Oh, I've kicked everybody's ass. I've never lost a fight. That's a lie. Yes, you have. If you have fought more than once in your life, there's a good chance your record's 50-50. I've never met a person who can actually fight that'll tell you they've never lost a fight. If nothing else, they'll be humble and tell you they've lost a fight. Now, I'm not talking like professional fighters' records. People get the butt kicked in sparring. Anyway, I don't want to get down lost in semantics here. I'm just making a point. So they just think they're smarter than us. Some of them ain't even from America. Why we got a Brit coming over here and hijacking American politics with one of these conservative think tanks and trying to tell us what we need? Man, it makes me so. You got one of these conservative think tanks is ran by a Brit. Another's ran by a guy that went to homeschool. Look, I ain't got no problem with either. But what the hell do you know about public schools in central Mississippi? Have you ever gone to school? I wasn't going to do this first hour. I had a whole other set of things I was going to talk about. Kenneth Stokes. I was going to talk about Kenneth Stokes, but here we go. If you were from England and you were from the homeschool system, you ain't never gone to school with this culture rot trash. You just don't understand. There's a reason people don't want to be around it. I'm not breaking any news here. The entire real estate market is based around how far you can get away from it and still drive back and forth to work every day. I'm not making that up. People don't want to live around it. Shout out to Jameson Haygood this morning. The Ellis Autoplex text line is 769-241-1944. The phone line this morning, you want to call in 601-879-0002. Again, it's not going to pass in the Senate. They may come up with some kind of compromise. The Senate passed a bill on day one for public to public, the one thing that I got a real axe to grind with. And then the House passes basically an omnibus education bill. And this thing, $7,000 for the poors so they can send their kids to private schools. If you make less than $55,000 a year, you get $7,000 to send your kid to private school. What? Who are we trying to appease with that? Who shoehorned that in? Anyway, it is what it is. We're going to talk with Fred in hour two. We'll dissect it a little bit. We'll take your calls on it. A couple texts here on the Ellis Autoplex text line says, Clay has a PhD in life. Thank you. Another one says, Hearst was the only Rankin County Republican that voted yes. Yeah, Celeste is in love with this thing. You know, her and Mike, they're big Trump girls. Mike, her husband's the leader of the Mississippi GOP. You know, they're going to fall in line with what the national GOP says. You know, they love it. But again, if you haven't gone to public school, I grew up in JPS. I went to Witten. I would have gone to Forest Hill, but we moved one neighborhood over, one neighborhood south. We moved from Brooklyn to Brooklyn Hills. So I ended up stuck going to Byram. I mean, no different. They had just moved Terry to Byram the year before, or 2 years before I got there. I got there in 92. They moved Terry down in 91 or 90. There was race wars literal race wars at Byram the year before I got there. So we were quite integrated when I got there. And so my point being, it was no different than going to a JPS school. It was actually worse, from the racial and, tension perspective. So I had my fair share of going to school with people I didn't want to be going to school with. And I'm not talking about just because they're black. I'm just talking about because it was all out war at that school with certain segments of that group and our group, not our group, but whites versus blacks. There was rednecks and there was racist blacks. It was what it was. Then there was what you would call independent voters, the people in the middle, which I was. My friend group has always been majority black, just up until the last few years. I don't really have any friends. I'm probably 4 or 5 friends, and that's one of them died last month. So that's a stretch to say I have 4 or 5 close friends. The older you get, the smaller your friend group gets. My point being, these people keep telling us they know what's best for us, to shut up and listen. Just quit thinking you're smarter than us. That's what they're saying. These dumb rednecks, they just don't know what's best for them. That's why Steve Phelps just got fired from NASCAR. Bunch of dumb rednecks. Don't they know that this is NASCAR? We're going to make it F1. Shout out to NASCAR. The day they fired Steve Phelps, he's the one that pushed the whole Bubba Wallace nonsense. He's the one that found the noose in the garage and went and showed Bubba, we found this in your garage. The white guy is the one that started the whole crap. Bubba didn't see that noose. They knew it was all that whole thing was staged. The whole Bubba Wallace noose thing was staged by Steve Phelps, allegedly, of course. Well, his ass got fired last week. And the first thing NASCAR did, because he wanted to move it away from the redneck stuff, and I'm some rabbit hole here. He wanted to take NASCAR and turn it into F1 and try to make it all smart and stuff. Well, that ain't what we want. I want to raise hell, praise Dale. Hell yeah, brother. Well, the first thing they did is they released a new commercial for the Daytona 500, which I can't wait. NASCAR's mark it down right now. My prediction, NASCAR is going to have a comeback year. You're going to fall in love with NASCAR again if you ever liked it. Watch it, I promise. First thing they did, they got Cletus McFarland. Hell yeah, brother. To do a Daytona 500 promo commercial, and it's the best thing they've put out since Dale Jr. retired. It's great. If you haven't done it, if you haven't seen it, we'll show it on the show today. We will show it on the show today. But I recommend for those listening on the radio, I'll share it on my X here during the commercial break. Go find it, watch it. It's on NASCAR's social media handles. Just type in NASCAR Cletus McFarland. I'm the Cletus McFarland of local radio here. Just a bit more incendiary than Cletus, but he has definitely stolen my catchphrase. Hell yeah, brother. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Ellis Autoplex text line 769-241-1944. We're streaming live on the Mazda Jackson live stream at SaveJXN on X, YouTube, and of course, Rumble. And real quick, before I go to break, I need to acknowledge a super chat that we started the morning with before I even went live this morning. Shout out to Justin up in Tennessee for the $1.99. Happy FAFO Friday. Hey, and speaking of that, this morning, while we're live, I got a special at the merch shop. Everything, including hoodies, 50% off. You get one item. Your choice, 50% off. Hoodies are normally $50. You're getting one for $25 today. Large, extra large, 2X, all shirts in stock, all hats in stock, flags in stock. If it's in stock, it's 50% off, one item per person. Promo code Friday at buyfafo.com. 50% off, promo code Friday, buyfafo.com. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. I'm obviously on a burner this morning. Welcome back in, brothers and sisters. This is the Clay Edwards Show, here live on 103.9 FM, WYAB, on a FAFO Friday morning here in central Mississippi. For those ninth grade students, central Mississippi is the entire Tri-County area. See, when I was growing up, we called it the Greater Jackson area. Then something happened. Jackson went to hell in a handbasket, and the surrounding areas no longer wanted to be known as the Greater Jackson area. It's like, no. I'm from Pearl. No. I'm not from Jackson. I am from Brandon. No. I live in Ridgeland. I'm from Byram. Like the used to, you would talk to somebody from out of town. They'd be like, "Oh, where do you live?" Jackson. Even if you didn't, now you're like outside of Jackson, Brandon, or wherever, you know. Like I'm old enough to remember when it was the Greater Jackson area. Speaking of which, how about we welcome a new sponsor to the show? Really glad to have him. I had him on in here with me the other day, Mr. Noah Sullivan, out at H&H Chief Sales in Carthage. H&H only sells trusted brands that are built to perform. Rugged, Big Tex trailers, durable CM and Legend X truck beds for all my get-her-done guys out there, my blue-collar mafia, the FAFO Army out there getting it done today. Guys, y'all need to be getting it out to big H&H Chief Sales in Carthage. Look, H&H has your truck needs. H&H has what your truck needs to work harder and last longer. For the field, H&H carries reliable ag equipment from Salford, New Leader, and Chandler. You can check them out online today, anytime at hhchiefsales.com. That's hhchiefsales, S-A-L-E-S, hhchiefsales.com. H&H, quality equipment, knowledgeable service, and solutions that work as hard as you do. Guys, they got, I think, over 50 trailers in stock out there, from single axle to tandem. You know, for something to pull your lawnmower or pull a dang bulldozer, they got it all out there at H&H Chief Sales in Carthage. All right, so I told you all about this Cletus McFarland NASCAR ad for the Daytona 500. This is entertaining as Hades. I don't think you don't have to have the visual to appreciate it. So we're going to play this. It's only 50 seconds. This is promoting the Daytona 500. And this is the kind of energy we need. We're gonna roll into the weekend in a good mood here, whether we want to or not.
What's up, guys? It's Cletus. I'm out here at Daytona, and who the hell's calling me right now? Why do we even have this phone in the middle of the track? Hello? Yeah? Oh, yeah, Daytona 500, yes. February 15th. What can you expect? Well, shoot, brother. We're going to be turning left.
Turning left.
A lot of horsepower.
A
lot of freedom, yup.
Freedom.
It's going to be a hell yeah, brother situation.
A hell yeah, brother situation.
All right, we'll see you out there, brother. Thank you.
All right, y'all get the gist of it. It's going to be a hell yeah, brother situation. That's my kind of situation right there. A hell yeah, brother situation. There's going to be so many Ford Raptors in the parking lot. You know, the Ford Raptor truly is the Dodge Charger for middle-aged white guys. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, it's the Hemi version. It's the Hellcat version of the Dodge Charger. Let me rephrase. It's the Hellcat for white guys, 40 and older, 35 and older. It really is. I mean, if we're going to stereotype people based on the vehicles they drive, we got to keep it real here. The Ford Raptor is, in fact, the white boy version of the Hellcat. It really is. And the regular F-150 is the V6 version of the Dodge Charger. It's the SRT. The regular F-150 is the SRT version of the Dodge Charger. All right. That was fun. That was a fun segment. Let's pivot here. Let me get my notes pulled up real quick. I'll tell you what, while I'm doing that, let's read some texts. And we'll y'all been on fire today. Y'all been on fire all week. Shout out to Casey for ordering a hoodie. He took advantage of the discount this morning. 50% off. Promo code Friday on everything at buyfafo.com. Get you one of those FAFO t-shirts you've been waiting to order. Been putting off. Let's see here. we got? Oh, yeah. Yeah, we got lots of stuff here. Chip, my old buddy I went to high school with at Byram, says, don't forget the jock group at Byram, the athletes. Oh, yeah. I definitely remember the jock group. They all wore their football jerseys to school all the time. Well, on Fridays, I guess, for pep rallies. I always remember that. Let's see here. Unknown texture says, amen, brother. Sometimes you have to endure while the dummies, FAFO. I like it. I like it. Unknown texture. They have a BS and PhD, BS piled high and deep degree. They do, man. Like, look, I don't just automatically disrespect people who went to college. I know it was hard. I know you consumed a lot of debt, accrued a lot of debt to do it. But it doesn't make you smarter than anybody. I mean, it doesn't. There's lived experience. There's real life stuff you just aren't going to learn in college. I mean, clearly. Look at all the idiots in Minneapolis right now torching the city. I bet you the overwhelming majority of those idiots out there protesting ICE have master's degrees. And look at what they're doing. And look at what the rest of us are doing. Idiots. Idiots. If I need to know the opinion of somebody with a college degree, it's only in their field of study. I don't need to know your opinion on social justice, civil rights, race, none of that. Public schooling, unless you've got a degree in education. And then unless you went to a public school, I just don't need your opinion on public schools, on what the rest of us need to shut up and do. I really don't. So let's pivot. Kenneth Stokes, man. Now, I saw this the other day and it kind of slipped through the cracks. And I rediscovered it last night when I was kind of chilling on the couch watching a little TV. I ended up making a little video and put it out about 10 o'clock last night. I don't normally post any reels that late because, well, frankly, they just don't get seen by as many people. And at the end of the day, this is a bit of a business. And when you make content, you want as many people to see it as possible. But that withstanding, let's check this out real quick here. Kenneth Stokes has been accused of bribery. And thank you to WLBT for getting a soundbite from Kenneth on this, because this story would be trash if we didn't have a soundbite from Kenneth Stokes, of course, denying the allegations. But what made the allegations somewhat credible is the fact that it's coming from an FBI informant. Now, that don't mean that it's legit. It just means that this guy was snitching about something else, and this happened to come out in the process. So let's listen to Kenneth here. This is about 2.5 minutes long, so it's a little lengthy, but it's worth it. I'm going to play the setup of WLBT explaining what's going on because context matters.
Claims he paid a Jackson City councilman thousands of dollars in exchange for favors. Well, tonight, Councilman Kenneth Stokes is pushing back on those claims, calling them lies, saying he would never betray your trust and accept money while in office. 3 Inside's Quentin Smith is analyzing the federal documents for you. Now, Quentin, what do you find out?
Well, Howard, Councilman Stokes is accused of accepting $2,000 in cash. However, the councilman says none of that is true. He has served your community for more than 30 years and says he's never taken a dime. Stokes maintains there's no proof showing he did anything wrong.
I live right. My name stands for something.
You better put some spec on my name. Spec. S-P-E-C-K. You better put some spec on it.
And I'm going to protect and fight for my name.
On God.
Councilman Kenneth Stokes says he refuses to have his name mixed up with what he calls bald-faced lies. The longtime councilman is accused of taking cash from a criminal informant. Although court documents do not spell out the informant's name, Stokes says he knows him but never had a conversation with him.
What Stokes should have said was, you stop telling lies. You keep telling lies about me. I'm going to start telling the truth about you. That sounds like a Stokesism.
Tanari Moore told that lie.
Everything allegedly happened from 2020 to 2021.
Well, y'all stay tuned to the end. I'm going to tell you all about Tanari Moore.
Foreman claims he paid Stokes $2,000 and that Stokes requested payments from $300 to $500. However, the informant goes on to tell the FBI that Stokes did not perform any specific favors in exchange for the cash.
And if it was true, somebody would come with a picture. Or they'll come with some audio. It's got to be audio.
Now, you know Stokes is old when he says it'd be audio or a picture, not video.
A visual.
Oh, there we go.
If it happened. If it didn't happen, then they can't come with a damn thing. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
And that's why ain't nothing come forward, because it did not happen.
Stokes said,
"'Cause Stone Cold Stokes said so."
Yes, he prides himself in doing right by the city and his constituents, and he believes his works over the years will outweigh what he calls baseless allegations.
Whenever this thing clear up about what happened at City Hall, and the FBI came in here and did this and that, there's going to be one person that I know of, that I can speak of. I ain't talking about everybody else, that's going to still be standing. It's going to be Kenneth Stokes.
Like a cockroach. Just gonna survive nuclear fallout. Kenneth Stokes, Stone Cold Stokes, Stokes 316 said so. I might put that on a shirt. That's actually a good idea. Just a black shirt with Stokes 316 on it. Somebody's gonna have that ready to go by the end of the show. I didn't give away $1 million idea. Dang it! I got to start keeping my mouth shut. Let's just say this about Stokes real quick. I'm going to lean with Stokes on this one. I ain't saying that I don't think Stokes has ever taken a $100 handshake, a $300 handshake, a $500 handshake. I'd be shocked if he hadn't. However, for the man to sit there and say it was a $300 or $500 bribe, but he didn't even get anything, he just did it because he lived in his district, he lived in his ward and thought he had to, it tells you the mentality of a cockroach, doesn't it? It just tells you how the hood is different than the rest of normal society. Like thought he was paying a tax, a hood tax. You know, in the hood, if you make any money, you're expected to pay the hood tax. Like you got to go back and give out a little money to some dumb stuff. That's why rappers stay broke. That's why athletes stay broke, because they're obligated to go back and pay the hood tax. But no, I don't think Stokes did anything here. I mean, that guy may have gave him $300 or $400 or $500, but I can assure you it wasn't because Stokes promised him anything. That's the cheapest bribe I've ever seen for a politician. Stokes too smart for that. Stokes ain't going down on $300, $400, $500 bribe. No, that ain't happening. Now, the guy who we got to take a break. I done run over here. We'll be right back. This is the Clay Edwards Show, WYAB. Man, y'all get by that merch shop. I'm telling you, we got the hoodies. Now the real one's got the white drawstrings on it. This is a mock-up. We got the hoodies, 50% off. We've got the the Army Green FAFO shirt. I am out of anything smaller than an extra large. I think we got XL and 2XL is all I got in these. XL and 2XL. And we got large up on these. I think we may have some smaller ones. I'm not 100% sure. If you order and I don't have your size, I will refund you or give you another option or something or another. We'll save your special for another day. Anyway, that's what we got available. We got some hats and stuff. The hats are, if they're available, they are listed in stock right. I just don't have the inventory quite right on the T-shirts. But with that said, that's the 3 items we for sure have available. Black shirt, Army Green shirt, hoodie. The flags are available with that logo, and an assortment of different hats are available. They are all correct. If they're listed online, they are, in fact, available. Everything 50% off. Promo code Friday at the website buyfafo.com. Just had another order. Shout out to, I like to give my shout outs when people order. I do it because I appreciate you. Let's see here. Who is the guy that ordered the last one? Shout out to Travis. for ordering a hoodie. Sold 2 hoodies this morning. I got a lot of money tied up in these hoodies. I need to untie my money so I can do something else with it. So we having a sale today. I'll see y'all in just a few minutes. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show here live on WYAB inside the Men's Health and Women's Wellness in Mississippi studios here on FAFO Friday. Men's Health and Women's Wellness. Guys, I posted a before and after or a current progress pic last night from 2 months ago or yesterday from 2 months ago to today, just kind of showing that just because I lost a lot of weight doesn't mean I'm not still trying to make progress and get my muscles bigger and, you know, all that stuff. And I'm showing this picture online now. So there's 2 months ago on the left, and there's last week on the right. Definitely more definition. My chest is puffed up a little bit more. Still fat, but I want to show you all my progress and let you see that I ain't just talking about it. I'm trying to be about it. And you can be about it at Men's Health and Women's Wellness in Mississippi by starting off by just texting Clay to 601-800-5130. 601-800-5130. Just text my name, Clay, and you're going to get a free testosterone screening from Men's Health of Mississippi. And if you qualify, if your numbers are low enough, if you're old enough, they kind of look at all of it, your blood work and everything. And most people, in fact, you know, you do apply. I mean, apply. You do qualify for it. So, but you're going to have the consultation from a medical team. They're going to look at everything, discuss your goals. You want to lose weight, you want to gain muscle, you want to do both. And you'll do it under the supervision of a qualified team out at Men's Health. And, man, there's so much more than just a testosterone clinic. They're my general physician as well. I went out there, got a bunch of blood work done a couple of weeks ago, just to kind of see where I'm at on everything. And, man, everything came back great. I was really proud of myself. I was telling Morgan that works out there, we met the other day, talked some marketing stuff, and I asked her to pull my numbers and kind of go over them with me in a little deeper detail. And I was just really proud of myself that at 48 years old, having lived the life I've lived, that my numbers were that good. Like anything that would signify that I could be at threat for any cardiovascular issues in particular. So really proud of myself. And you can be too. Text Clay, 601-800-5130. We are live in the Men's Health and Women's Wellness studios, as a matter of fact. Oh, let's see here, man. Let's go over to the Mazda Jackson live stream and see what we got on some of the live chats there. Let's see here. Shout out to we just got somebody else just bought another. Oh, my cousin-in-law, Keith. Shout out to Keith. He just bought a hoodie. So we sold 3 hoodies so far this morning on that special. Let's see here. Victor says, I wanted to order a shirt today, but you don't have any 4XL. Yeah, man, I am out of the big boy shirts. I'm gonna make some changes to the shirt stuff here soon. And we're gonna launch some new designs as well. So y'all just kind of stay tuned. I'm cleaning out the closet, so to say, with this discount today. And we're gonna relaunch the FAFO brand. Now, of course, this style will always be available because, well, it's a hell of a style. We've sold a bunch of those shirts, and I think we'll continue to sell more as this brand gets bigger. Let's see here. Little Nikki watching on YouTube says, now y'all know whoever accused Stokes was definitely smoking that dope. 100. I saw a Facebook comment from my buddy David Funches that says, I definitely need one of those Stokes hats because I agree. Y'all need to quit smoking that dope. Let's see here. Thomas Bobo says, that must be why he always wears that hat with his name on it. Makes so much sense now. Yes. Man, Stokes is the G. I mean, look, he said a lot of things, and I've disagreed with Stokes a lot over the years. I said it over the last couple of years. It should really tell you just how bad it's gotten in Jackson when Kenneth Stokes becomes the voice of reason. And it seems like he got some sense. Because we've gone my entire adult life with Kenneth Stokes being the complete opposite of the smartest guy in the room. But I've always heard that he actually is one of the smartest guys in the room, that character he plays on TV is just that, a character. I know some people that I really trust that are hardcore conservatives. I mean, Marine vets, just true and true patriots who know Stokes personally. and they say that he's a good man. And I'm going to trust those people. But he's playing to his constituency. That's for sure. Pivot. Speaking of playing to constituencies, I don't have the story pulled up, but did y'all see that story where that black female lawmaker, I guess from up in maybe the North Mississippi, Delta area, somewhere like that, I think that's where she's from, tried to sneak in a law to ban Mississippi law enforcement from having tasers? See if we can pull that up real quick here. This got to be one of the absolute dumbest things I've ever seen. A taser ban. Here it is. Crap. Here we go. Got it right here. Law enforcement says that hurts us. Local police against proposed taser ban. Let's let the commercial in front of this video run out. I want to play this real quick because this has got to be one of the dumbest suggestions I've ever seen by a group of people that it would 100% negatively affect more than white folks just based on the amount of interactions black folks have with law enforcement versus white folks. I mean, look, that ain't me making that up. That's just statistical facts. This is about 2.5 minutes. I know it's a little lengthy. It's going to take us up to our break, but I want to play this stupidity, and of course, I'll give my 2 cents throughout it. This is from up at WDAM in North Mississippi.
In the law enforcement community this week, a House bill was proposed in Jackson that would outlaw the use of stun guns. As Raven Little reports, law enforcement agencies say this may cost more lives than it saves.
Hell, you're going to go from, I could have stunned him if I'd had a stun gun. Unfortunately, I had to kill him. That's how everybody that got stunned is going to end up with a bullet hole. They're not used as a preventative from physical contact. They're used as a preventative from you getting contacted with a bullet, you getting lead poisoning. They're like in the progress of you FAFOing, stun gun is right in front of real gun. There's not another layer of self-defense for the police between stun gun and real gun. Why would you eliminate that protective, life-saving measure in the middle there?
Law enforcement officers are calling this sound a warning that saves lives.
Anytime you take a tool out of an officer's hand, that hurts us. Tasers were invented and outfitted in departments to save lives, and that's exactly what they do.
Mississippi Representative Omeria Scott proposed House Bill 182. The bill sets out to prohibit the use of tasers and stun guns by law enforcement officers in the state of Mississippi.
I would challenge any of our lawmakers, if they have any questions about tasers, attend a taser class.
Representative Scott said in a statement Monday, many of her constituents have expressed their concerns about the dangers of tasers, asking if they could be removed. Scott said in part, quote, "In Mississippi, there have been multiple deaths as a result of taser usage and hundreds of injuries as well. I introduced
Those injuries could have been deaths if they had been bullets. This is so stupid.
This legislation to address my constituents' concerns about taser usage because, after all, my constituents are who I work for. Both Ellisville PD and Jones County Sheriff's Office say the alternatives put officers closer to suspects and adds a gun to every equation.
Even if they don't have a gun and I have to interact with you, there's another gun involved. It's mine. And, it's proven fact. The officers get overtaken and somebody will take their own gun and shoot them.
Officers are trained to aim for the green zones you see here.
Point it out.
By splitting the belt line, officers avoid major organs and major disasters. Officers say in most cases, suspects respond well simply to the sight of a taser without deployment.
The lights and the laser on them, that usually gets their attention pretty quick. The fact that it's bright yellow as opposed to a all black handgun, it shows the public it's not a gun, it is a taser. That's what we're telling you we're going to use against you if you don't comply.
If passed, the bill calls for the removal of all tasers by June 30th, 2026. In the Pine Belt, Raven Little, WDAM 7 on your side.
Representative Scott proposed this bill last legislative session as well. It died in...
This person still draws on paper with crayons. This has got to be the dumbest idea from any of the Black Caucus members in a long time, and that's saying something. We'll be right back. This is the Clay Edwards Show. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. Hey, guys, it's a fried chicken Friday at both Martin's locations for the Blue Plate Special. Whether you're hitting up Livingston or downtown Jackson, while everybody else is serving up fried catfish, which is great, Martin's is doing something a little bit different. They're doing fried chicken. So go take advantage of the fried chicken Blue Plate Special of the day at Martin's. And be sure to check out martinsdowntownjxn.com for all the upcoming live music listings they've got coming to the downtown location. Hey, real quick, I was thinking about that stun gun bill during the break there, and somebody Lloyd had texted in about another dumb bill, and it reminded me, and he may be talking about that one, but remember last year, one of the black Democrats from Canton, I think, was going to try to pass a bill where it made it illegal for men to masturbate. Said that was basically abortion. Something it was trying to be a counter bill to the abortion bill, basically saying that masturbation was the same thing as abortion, and if you can't have abortions, you can't masturbate. Yeah, I just fried a couple brain cells saying all that. That this is about as dumb as that. But there would be a lot more post-birth abortions if we banned law enforcement from having stun guns. You know what? Maybe we're on to something. Do away with the stun guns. A little cleansing, so to say. We'll be right back. Hey, so I made a change on the promo because some of you guys are repeat customers, and this is actually a former promotion that I've ran before. I just changed the promo code to Friday. And what that was doing is it was limiting repeat customers who had used the previous promo code for a discount and saying you couldn't buy it because you had used the promo code before. So you know what? To hell with it. If you want to buy up to 10 items for 50% off. Why do I care? Honestly, I didn't even realize it was stuck at one. I guess it sounded good. Anyway, yeah, I don't care. Hell, however many shirts and hoodies you want to buy at 50% off, have at it. Up to 10. I don't care how many. If you want to buy more than 10, let me know. I'll change it to 20. But anyway, have at it. BuyFAFO.com. Promo code Friday. Buy as many items as you want for 50% off today only. Thank y'all for the support. It really does mean a lot to me. Boom goes La Dynamite. It's hour 2 of the most incendiary show on the RADIO. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I am, well, of course, Clay Edwards, here live inside the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi studios. This segment brought to you by our friends out at Cameron's Garage, a.k.a. Cypress Point, out there off Holly Bush Road. It's a resort. It is legitimately, it's called Cypress Point Resort because it is a resort. They even have like 9 or 10 cabins back in the back you can rent and just stay out there. For like $100, give or take $100, plus tax and some stuff. So just rounds up, say $120, whatever. Way cheaper than a DUI and probably cheaper than a two-way Uber. And you can stay the night there. You can grill. You can chill. You can have a good time. They don't really even advertise that. That's just me telling you about it because I've done it 3 or 4 times. And man, it's amazing how much you can relax when you don't have to worry about going home. Not much less driving, but I mean, like even having to deal with an Uber and all that stuff, man, you can just, you're going to go back to the back. One of the staff members most likely will give you a ride back there if you ask nicely. I don't want to commit them to it, but they did me the other night. Hey, look, real quick, here's the lineup this weekend. What's today, the 16th? So Saturday night, you got the Stevens Brothers live at Cameron's Garage. Man, y'all know if you've been following me, I love the Stevens Brothers. They played my Christmas party last year, I think it was. Great guys. Tonight, you've got the Rankin Boom Show with Bradley Parker, Zach Bridges, with TJ and Laura Lee Burnham. Man, that is a quadruple header right there. That's tonight, 7 p.m. Over in Cameron's Garage. Man, I love those like acoustic triple headers they do. And this is actually a quadruple header. It's got Burnham Road Unplugged with Zach Bridges and Bradley Parker. Wow, that's going to be packed tonight. In the tavern, This weekend, you've got Bubba Wingfield tonight. Shout out Bubba. And then tomorrow night, you've got Hunter Gibson and Rick. How do you say that last name? Maria, Moreira. So however you spell that or pronounce that. So that's over in the tavern next to the steakhouse. Y'all check them out. Cameron's Garage at Cypress Point Resort. Swing by there today. It's Friday. You know what that means. The Blue Plate special of the day is the 16-ounce. It might not be quite 16 ounces, but it's close to it, if not right at it. Ribeye steak sandwich, cooked to order. So if you like yours rare, walking and talking, Pittsburgh Blue, overdone, well done, whatever. I don't know why you would do that. Just order a hamburger if you like it more than medium, but to each their own. I'll sit back and quietly judge you if you eat your steak more than medium rare. But anyway, that's the Blue Plate special of the day. It's like $19, $20. It's big enough to feed two people, big enough to eat half now, half later. Whatever you choose to do, eat it all now. I don't care. Fresh onion rings, fresh French fries, or whatever other side you find delicious. It's all available at Cameron's Garage. All right, man, let's jump into it. So the Mazda Jackson live stream is streaming over at YouTube, X, and Rumble at SaveJXN. You know, I saw something on Twitter. Well, I saw something. I saw it because I posted it. I posted something on Twitter a minute ago. I actually shared this on my Instagram last night, but I wanted to share this while we've been talking about men's health and women's wellness and just all that stuff. This is very, very interesting to me. I've seen it before. Dang it. I always hate it when it does that. I'm just going to have to do this here. I can never get this thing to quite do what I want it to do, and it really, really aggravates me in live time when I'm trying to get it to do what I want to do. Let's try one more time here. Come on. Gosh, dang it. Swap. You know what? I'm done fighting with it. The fattest man in the world back in the 1890s, people paid to see him. And from the looks of this picture I've got pulled up, and you can go look at my X account at SaveJXN or my Instagram at SaveJXN and see it for yourself. I would say he's about 400 pounds, give or take 20 pounds. Jelly Roll was way bigger than this guy. And, you know, we did in fact pay to see Jelly Roll, but he traveled around kind of like a circus. Well, you know what? I've disregarded my entire point with this. We still pay to see the traveling fattest man in the world. Of course, Jelly Roll's no longer the fattest guy. Anyway, I kid around. So you can look at this guy here, and it just goes to show you how fat and lazy we've gotten as a country. When Americans or people used to pay to go to the circus to see the fattest man in the world, the bearded lady. I mean, it was an attraction to see somebody that fat. Now, I could walk out of this radio station, and before I get to my car, I could probably see two people that fat coming out of the Mexican restaurant below us here. No offense to the Mexican restaurant, I'm just making a point here. I could walk in the gas station and see 5 people buying yayos and ding-dongs bigger than the fattest man in the world in the 1890s. You could drive through the parking lot of any fast food restaurant and look at the people that were too lazy to get out and go in. Now, of course, I wouldn't get out and go in a fast food restaurant either. I don't want to see Quita and them in there twerking on the countertop because somebody forgot to put hot sauce in her bag. But either way, it's much safer to stay in your car. So you may see some normal people there too. I would understand. Anyway, you can go to any fast food restaurant right now and find 3 people that are bigger than what the fattest man in the world was in 1890. Does that tell you all you need to know about the foods they got us eating? These processed foods, all these sugary drinks. Now, I wasn't even going to talk about this today, but shout out to Robert Kennedy and the whole Maha movement. They flipped the food pyramid upside down the other day. Is it going to make a difference? Probably not. I mean, people who want to be fat asses are going to be fat asses. People who want to be healthy are going to be healthy. I don't think anybody takes the food pyramid as the end-all, be-all of how they choose to eat. I truly don't. But if it does make some changes in what they have in school lunches for kids, and we're not making kids obese at schools, I'm all for it. Again, it ain't going to matter if the parents at the house ain't doing anything to help, but shoving Cokes down their throats and chicken nuggets in their mouth ain't going to matter. But you can at least tell folks, hey, this is what's best for you. A protein-heavy diet. You know, I was watching a video about it last night from Peter Attia. Anyway, really good dude. Health science guy. Jacked, too. And he was actually impressed. He called out some things on it that he didn't like, that he would have done differently. But overall, he liked it. But he made the same point. He was like, you know, it ain't going to matter. People are going to eat what they're going to eat. If you got the mindset that you want to be healthy, you're going to be healthy. If you got the mindset that you want to be cheap and convenient, you're not going to be healthy. And it is what it is. But he brought up the point that now the recommendation is pretty much 3/4 of a gram of protein for every pound you weigh. So I've been on a protein kick, and I weigh 240 pounds-ish, 5 pounds either way on any given day, from 235 to 245. And, you know, to gain as much muscle as possible, they say eat a gram of protein for every pound you weigh. Brother, eating would be a full-time job if I had to eat if I ate 240 grams of protein every day. I'm doing good to get half that, 150, you know, a little more than half that, 150 grams a day is a challenge. That's with a protein shake and 3 meals with steak and eggs. So I'm sure Bobo Powell could help me out there, but maybe there's an easier way, but it's intense. So, but it is nice to see the FDA, the Food Administration folks, the MAHA movement actually recommending protein as the most important nutritional thing you can do. I like it. It's a start. At least, I mean, can we just it's nice to see your federal government just acknowledge that the other way was wrong. It's like maybe carbs aren't good. Maybe processed foods aren't good. Now, there is some food processing that's good. There are processes to food that can make them very healthy. But just generally speaking, processed food that comes in boxes out of the middle of the grocery store aren't good for you. I know y'all aren't tuning in for health stuff, but this is stuff I'm really passionate about. I try not to be that guy that talks about it all the time because, look, I will also just eat a king cake. I mean, I think it's a reward for trying to be healthy most of the time. Kingfish went down to New Orleans or down to Louisiana somewhere a couple of days ago and brought back like 100 king cakes from Nana Randazzo's. And your boy picked up one yesterday. Well, I know I left here sick, but on my way home, he texted me, hey, are you going to pick up this king cake? I was like, oh, I don't feel like it. I'm dying. But I swung by his house and I picked up that dang king cake. And you know what? I went home, I ate a slice, and magically I felt better. Maybe I was having like a sugar spell or something. I don't know. But the minute I got done with that slice of king cake with all that gooey cream cheese in it, and you ain't going to believe this, the first slice, because there was more than one. I'm just going to be honest. I ate more than one slice, maybe 3 throughout the day. The first slice, I got the baby. I am not kidding. It actually just kind of fell out of the back of it in the middle of the ring. I posted the pictures of the king cake on my social media. But the second I hit it, the knife pushed it out the back of into the ring. I was like, really? Really? You going to do that to your boy? So they got those king free shout out here, little free plug. They have those king cakes at Nandy's Candies, and they were great. And as I say that, I remember I saw on social media last night, they also have king cakes at the general store out at Cypress Point Resort. Those are really good too. So either way, you're looking for king cakes, Nandy's Candy. Those are from Nana Randazzo's down in New Orleans, and they've got them out at Cypress Point Resort too. I don't remember where they're from, but I've had that brand before. I recognize the box, and those are really, really good too. So check that out. We got to take a short break here real quick. I got to go let Andrew Gosser in. We've changed the locks and his key don't work. Maybe that's a sign you've been fired. We just didn't tell you. I got fired like that one time. They changed the locks and didn't tell me. I showed up and said, well, I guess I don't work here anymore. Suits me fine. We'll be right back. When we come back, Chokwe Antar Lumumba. It's been a while since we've talked about old Chocolate Lombard. Is his ties to the criminal underworld, mobsters, drug dealers, killers, Mexican cartels, money launderers, is it finally being exposed due to this FBI case against Tim and Jody Owens? I believe it is. We're going to talk about that and more. We're going to hit school choice for Fred Shanks somewhere here, too, before the end of the show. Talk about his no vote. And we got a couple of FAFO championships and insufferable turds of the day to give out. So we're going to be busy when we come back. No long-winded topics. It's going to be boom, boom, boom. Ayo. Swing by the merch shop, too. I changed it up over at the merch shop during the break. I said you can only order one thing. I took the limit off. You can order as many items as you want, up to 10, for 50% off at buyfafo.com. Promo code Friday. Buyfafo.com. Promo code Friday. If you ordered anything and you want to go back and order anything, we'll figure it out. I'll adjust your order where you only got to pay for shipping once. I'll refund you the extra shipping on the second order if you place another order, so you don't have to pay for shipping twice. I'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. This is the Clay Edwards Show. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. Woo-wee. Y'all guys get out to Ellis Autoplex this weekend. Do you some truck shopping. Do you some truck shopping out there. F-150s, four-door, four-wheel drives. They got it all, man. You can check them out online, ellisautoplex.com. Hey, look, man, they are trying to buy some trucks right now, too. Do you have a four-door F-150, four-wheel drive you're trying to sell? Think about trading it in, upgrading to a newer one? Swing by. Let Casey make you an offer on yours. He's going to make you a fair market value offer and maybe make you a little money, a little bit more than you were going to get on trade. They need them, especially if it's a little higher mileage. See, here's a little trick of the trade here. New car dealers, they really like stuff to be less than 5 years old and less than 60,000 miles, but definitely under 100,000 because their lenders don't like those vehicles. They just don't. You know, they're more of a risk. And I get it. Well, Casey's lenders, a lot of times like credit unions and banks that specialize in higher mileage vehicles. So what that allows Casey to do, because he knows he's not going to have a problem getting it financed, because his income isn't dependent on on making money on the back end. So like a lot of these big dealerships, their income is dependent on selling you a bunch of stuff on the back end, warranty and Gap. Now, I'm a big fan of Gap insurance. If you are upside down, buy the dang Gap. I buy service contracts too, but they are negotiable, just FYI. Anyway, it allows Casey to make you a fair offer, a really legitimate fair offer, because especially on higher mileage trucks, because he can sell them. He can get them financed because he's not worried about trying to sell you a warranty and all that other stuff with it. He's going to sell you a truck. Whether you got your own financing, if he gets it for you, doesn't really matter. So it allows him to, maybe put a little more into that higher mileage truck or that higher mileage trade that you have. That makes sense? It should. Swing by, see him today. Shop him online, ellisautoplex.com, located right there on Highway 471 in Flowood, Mississippi. You can, of course, apply online and save a little money if you want him to help you out with the financing. They got some great credit unions. They got Keesler Federal. I got my truck financed through Keesler. I've loved doing business with them. They've been of course, when you pay your bills, on time, you don't have any problem with your bank. When I was in sales and somebody asked somebody who they had their car financed with, and they were like, such and such, and I hate them. But you only hate them because they call you when you owe them money. No bank is going to bother you when you don't owe them money, unless they're trying to get you to refi at a lower rate. And that's doing you a favor. That's not bothering you. Anyway, let's jump into it, man. We've got let's give away a couple of FAFO championships before we get into the Chokwe story real quick. We got a local one right here, a local FAFO. Y'all may have seen this story yesterday. Local USPS driver arrested for allegedly being high on the job. Smokey, what you doing, Smokey? You getting high today? Oh, Smokey done got high today. Let's see here. Dang it. Come on. Let me skip the ad there. All right, this happened in Forest yesterday. Smokey done got high today.
A U.S. Postal Service carrier who delivers your mail in Forest is behind bars tonight. Lavelle Lee Culpepper was arrested on his route and is now facing several drug charges. He's accused of possession with intent to distribute marijuana, felony possession, paraphernalia, and driving the mail truck under the influence.
Hold on. Let's run it back for just a second.
Influence.
Look, dang it, stop it. Come on. We got to take a long. Here we go. Look at this guy. He is not happy about this current situation. I apologize if you're listening on the radio and you don't get to see this right now, but you can go find it at WLBT.com or any of my social media platforms at SaveJXN, because I made a video about it yesterday. We had 100,000 followers on TikTok yesterday, by the way, so thank y'all for that. Look at how agitated Pookie looks here. Lavelle Lee Culpepper. Gosh dang. I would not like to be stuck in a cell with him right now. But let's
under the influence. Culpepper was found with 8 ounces and plastic bags for distribution. Police acted after receiving complaints about the mail smelling like marijuana.
Well, they didn't go any further than that. Yeah, so the marijuana he had in that truck was so loud. It was so loud smelling that it made the mail smell like marijuana. That must have been who Angelique Lee was getting her smoke from when she got pulled over driving down the interstate because the cops behind her could smell the marijuana coming out of the car. And look, we talked about this before on the show. That is the only reason why I would be against them making marijuana for adult use legal, is they're going to have to put some regulations on it where you can't smoke it outside in public areas. I don't want to smell that. I do not want to smell that outside in my neighborhood. I don't want to smell it in downtown Brandon or downtown anywhere else. I'm not a fan of the smell. You are free to smoke it all you want. Doesn't bother me, but it is toxicity as far as the smell of it, burning and whatever. Anyway, we share public spaces. Be respectful. That's all I'm saying. All right, but that's your FAFO championship right there. I can't think of a better one. If you are stupid enough to be delivering more than the mail while you out delivering the mail, you got a good job. You got a federal job. The benefits that come with that. You could have just been selling that weed from your house or on your free time, but you out delivering the mail. That reminds me of the UPS driver here in Jackson back in the 80s or 90s. I forget his name, Dave something or another. He ended up making a lot of money in the mobile detail business. But Dave was delivering dope on the UPS route and got popped. Anyway, come on, man. Come on, you're smart. You're smarter than that, homie. Entrepreneurial spirit. I think we got an FAFO national champion, too. Yes, we do. How about this guy right here? Yeah, we got an FAFO national champion. What an idiot. This guy, y'all may have seen this video. We don't have to, again, if you're listening on the radio, you'll be able to understand what's happening here. So bear with me 1 second while I pull this one up. Y'all may have seen the video going viral of the idiots in Minnesota stealing the guns out of the ICE vehicles, like breaking in and stealing the guns and all that. Well, one of them, there's a reason these clowns are still wearing COVID masks. This Latin king with the tattoos all over his face, very identifiable markers, he chose to do it without a mask on. He got a little too full of himself, probably a little too full of that methamphetamine as well. Now, let's check this out here real quick for our national FAFO champion on this here Friday.
I know you just talked to a high-placed source at DOJ. Tell us more.
Yeah, so he wasn't arrested last night. He could have been, but the Minneapolis police didn't bother chasing the vehicle that had just stolen a high-powered rifle out of an FBI car. So that stole it out of one of these weapons lockers that was in the back. But what I can confirm now is that Raul Gutierrez, age 33, that you see in the video that I posted last night, stealing a firearm from an FBI vehicle, has been arrested by the ATF and the DOJ. They executed an arrest warrant today, and he's a known member of the Latin Kings gang. I just got all this information just before I came on air. He's got a lengthy, violent rap sheet. Of course, he should have been in prison already, but in Tim Waltz, Minnesota, like they don't arrest anybody here. So it's not surprising that he was able to go out and beat this gun safe to a pulp and pull this automatic firearm out of it and run away with it. And, hell, if it wasn't for, honestly, a lot of us independent journalists on the ground that were able to get a video of this, nobody would have seen it happen.
I don't know if they said it yet. I was reading a text or sending a text, but I bet you he's also now a convicted felon in possession of a firearm, because this clearly ain't his first rodeo.
No, they were able to find this guy based on a video from independent journalists, the one that we posted last night. I mean, it's crazy that it has to be us doing this.
So, Nick, did you talk to DOJ to get his name?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's I've been in contact with Attorney General Pam Bondi throughout the day today. We've talked to him several times.
We'll take that as a
lot more
confirmation.
material that I haven't posted. Yeah. And so they've been there's a lot of FBI stuff going on the ground right now that I can't talk about, but there's more coming.
All right, so Latin King, not the smartest man in the room. Not the smartest man in the room. That guy right there is the guy that'll tell you, people that will do stuff like that, those are the people that'll tell you they're the smartest person, and they're like, listen to how smart I am. You know somebody else that used to tell me all the time how smart they were? He said, I thought about this the other day, actually. Oh, Polo. Polo loved to tell you how smart he was all the time. He's like, you ain't going to big brain me. I'm smarter than you think I am. You ain't going to big brain me. Well, how's that life sentence looking for you, Polo? You wasn't smart enough to not kill a man over a hoe. We'll be right back with Fred Shanks discussing school choice. Don't go nowhere. This is the Clay Edwards Show. Welcome back in. Before we get over to the phone line with State Rep Fred Shanks, this interview will be brought to you by our friends over at Burgers Blues Barbecue. Y'all be sure to check out. I figured it was appropriate, since we have our state rep from Brandon on the phone, to mention Burgers Blues Barbecue with their Brandon location right there in downtown Brandon. Swing by today. Fried catfish is the blue plate special of the day, but hey, you ain't going to be in the Brandon area? That's all right. They got a location serving you right there in Dogwood, at Dogwood and Flowwood, and of course in Madison. Look, don't forget them for all your big game catering needs. They got catering specials available, tailgate platters. Be the hit of the party with a platter of or a tray of their wings, their queso. Man, their queso is fine. Check it all out at burgersblues.com today. You can order for delivery, carry out, and catering right there in one great website. And there's tons of pictures of the actual food there on the website available too. Looks great, easy to use. It's tied in with a local delivery outlet, take a break deliveries. You can't go wrong. burgersblues.com. All right, man. Let's go over to the phone line and talk to Fred Shanks about the big vote yesterday down there at the Capitol. Fred, you there?
Hey, Clay. Man, just headed through the stack right now on the way to the Capitol this morning.
Oh, good stuff, man. Good stuff. Shout out to MDOT.
Yeah, it was pretty smooth so far, at least today. So
yeah, they had an incident over there the other day where a bunch of a truckload fell off of some steel and broke the barrier there on the flyover and caused a lot of damage.
Yeah.
I came through it right after.
Did.
Had to go up 49, turn around, come around. It was a disaster.
Yep. I had to do exactly the same thing. Went through Old Pearl to get back home.
Absolutely. Well, that's all. Tell Jake Wyndham we said, hey.
That's right.
Let's jump into it, man. So you stood strong.
Yep.
You went against leadership. The people I know of, somebody said all of the Rankin County delegation voted no, but you, Jill Ford, I guess everybody but Celeste Hurst in the Tri-County area voted no.
Yeah, and this was probably the most contentious vote. Like the tension was there; you could cut it with a knife. It was wild, and leading up to it, and then of course some people didn't know how they were going to vote until that day, and some people just were trying to make their mind up, and you and I had talked, but that night, you had these text messages going out with President Trump's picture on it, and it was district specific, so it would say, call Fred Shanks and tell him to vote for this. And some of the older, citizens would see that. I mean, I think they kind of thought that was Trump personally texting them, and I got quite a lot of texts and calls off of that. And, I would explain kind of where, Rankin County was at, and, then they understood, and they're like, okay, I'm sorry, yeah, you vote how you got to. And, but yeah, talking to people in Rankin County for a long time, I mean, this is not something that just kind of popped up.
There's been years.
The citizens just, oh yeah. It's the push has been going on for a very long time, but this is obviously the biggest it's ever been since I've been involved. And and I'm not talking about your school teachers, administrators, principals. They obviously don't want this, but the parents don't want it. And I mean, I talked to a bunch of parents, and I'm out there probably a lot more than a lot of my colleagues, and I have not had one parent come to me, call me, text me, and say, Fred, this would help me. This would help my situation. Please do this. I did not have that. Maybe some other people did, but I did not. So I slept well last night on my vote.
Look, man, and I'm out a good bit too, and it gets brought up because I talk about it a lot. And man, I have not had one person. I'm not making this up either. I have not had one person in my day-to-day conversations that I would consider John Q. citizen tell me, man, Clay, we really need this, and here's why. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist in the county outside of people who are hyper politically involved. I will agree with you. I have not had that. It gets taught, and I'm the same way. The past several months. I mean, it would get discussed every day in my circles, and but it was never what we just said. I mean, it was never like because I'm going to try to help anybody. If they come to me and need my help, and look at some middle ground or something to help them, and I had no one ask me that. Now, on the flip side, the bill, it had some good things in it. That had nothing to do with school choice. I mean, it really did. It had some good programs in it, and that I would like, but it was just, the bill was very, very long. I mean, it was 500 plus pages long. Yeah, and it was just. And now a lot of that, some of it was code section, what we call code sections, that just fills in the pages on how you can go back and look up particular laws. But, that bill came out a week ago, and a little week and a half ago. And it's just, you can't, I'm a salesman basically, on a big piece of policy back to my, to my district. And I had no time to really push that through if that was the case. But again, the citizens, they did not, didn't want it. So I voted with the people who sent me there. Yeah. So it ended up being 59-60? One vote?
Yeah. I'm not quite sure what happened on that vote. The guy was there. I think it was Fabian Nelson. He wasn't on the board when we voted. It was a 2-vote difference, but maybe he had run to the bathroom or something. I don't know, but obviously his vote got counted, and it was a 1-vote difference.
Well, he's sneaky anyway. So 1 vote difference, and several people sustained or didn't vote. So
it's called now I don't know what they were doing. I didn't talk to them, so I don't know what they did. But if someone is there, and does not vote present, the term's kind of taking a walk. Yeah. It's a strategy.
So this thing wins by 1 vote. It could have lost, or if the other people had voted, which clearly it was polar. They were there and chose not to for a reason, which is chicken crap in my opinion. But to each their own on that. Yeah. You're sent down there to vote. Damn it, vote. Don't say, well, I didn't vote for it if you didn't like, if you didn't like, hey, it wasn't me, it ain't on me. No, it is on you. You didn't vote.
Well, that's the position I took. It was a hard vote, like you said. President Trump, the governor, the speaker, the party, mainly the party, the Republican women, they were all pushing us to vote for it. So personally, I had to deal with that, and then obviously what the people that elected me to do, and I chose that. It was a very, very hard vote, but
sure,
I was, that's why I'm there. I've never voted president in my 8 years.
It's a big boy job.
Vote yes or no.
It's a big boy job, and we send men down there to do it, and and women. We send grown-ups down there. We expect to vote, and it's chicken crap to not vote. Fred, so it's going to go back over to the Senate. Obviously, you're not on the Senate side, but the tea leaves are reading that this is going to get shot down. And a lot of, this is me talking here, not Fred, but I did tell Fred this in a text last night. I said, I feel like Jason White blew a lot, and the party in general blew a lot of political capital on something like this and alienated a lot of people and threatened a lot of people for something that's probably going to get shot down in the Senate anyway. What's your thoughts on the Senate side?
So the Senate came out on day one and passed what's called a Portability Act, and that just simply says, hey, if a school district accepts you, the school district you are already at has to release you. And that was clearly a chess move on their part. They did it the first day. And, just hearing things at the Capitol, they did that for a reason. They didn't jump into like a huge, omnibus bill, kind of like similar to what we had. Mm-hmm. So that kind of points me in the direction that they don't want something like House Bill 2. Now it does, things go to conference, at the end of the session we have what's called conference week, and things get, deals get made and things get taken out, things get put in, that kind of stuff. But, my guess would be the bill that got passed yesterday will look like that.
Right. And that's my guess, is that we end up with some form of school choice by the end of this thing. What it looks like, yet to be determined.
Correct. So, if there's people out there that are like, oh man, it passed and I don't like it. I mean, it will not look like what it did yesterday.
Sure. So, I hated the, other than the public to public, obviously, I hated the welfare side of it, the $7,000 for people under $55,000 income, for kids to send them to private schools. Like, what in the hell are we doing here? Who thought of that?
Yeah. And, you've got, you got a whole bunch of different groups, a lot of national people jumping in doing that, making those types of policies. And the whole idea, or two ideas, in my opinion, that are behind it, are people want to get that woke ideology out of school, and this is what they perceive was the best way to do it. And these were Trump's people. Mm-hmm. So Trump wins. He's got his people there. His people are like, hey, this is what we got to do. He's going to greenlight it because that's what they're telling him. And look, it may have worked, in some other parts of the country, and then some it has not.
Yeah, I mean, look, I just keep going back. Everywhere doesn't have Jackson, Mississippi attached to it. And it's like the rest of the state wants us here in the Tri-County area to fall on the sword and say, okay, well, we'll take in Jackson so y'all can have school choice in the rest of the state. And I'm not going to follow. I don't want to fall on that sword.
Yeah, and that's a good point. And they pretty much have school choice on the coast, and I didn't know that. A lot of people don't know that, but they do have it, and it works. But all their schools are really good, so it's not a problem.
Exactly. All right, Fred. Anything big on the docket today?
No, we're just going to go in kind of business as usual on Friday. So all good. And then I've got quite a lot of things that I want to try to get through coming up for the rest of the season and session. And I'll be glad to come on and chop it up with you soon.
Yeah, brother, let's do it. I'll holler at you this evening. Have a good day. Thank you for calling in, man.
Okay. You got it. Bye-bye.
Uh-huh. State Rep Fred Shanks, Brandon, Mississippi. A lot of folks in the live chat saying thank you, Fred. So we appreciate it, man. Look, the vote didn't land the way I wanted it to, but I'm really proud of my rep. I'm proud of the reps that stood up to being bullied by the what's the word I'm looking for here? The conservative think tank groups, by leadership, by Tate Reeves. They went hard on this, man. I mean, they threatened a lot of people's careers and jobs with this, and that's what I meant by wasted a lot of political capital for a bill that probably ain't going to get passed, a bill that's hyper-polarizing. If Mississippians really wanted this, it wouldn't have passed by one vote. in a super red state, in a super red majority, on a bill backed by Trump, it would have passed by more than one vote if Mississippians on the ground really wanted this. You got a lot of NPC bots around here on the conservative side, conservative influencers, conservative think tankers who are told what to think, who are told what to say, and they don't question any of it. They just run blindly into the fire. Okay. I mean, I'm going to tell you, y'all can accuse me of a lot of things. Being inauthentic ain't ever going to be one of them. We'll be right back to land the plane for the day. We're going to have to punt the Chokwe story to Monday. I've already posted some videos about it online. Y'all can go check them out on my YouTube at SaveJXN. We'll be right back here inside the inside the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi Studios. Oh, hell, ain't no point. Y'all know the gig. Ain't no point in leaving y'all on hold just to come back and say bye. Y'all have a blessed weekend, man. I want to thank everybody for a great week of shows. I appreciate y'all's patience with me this week. I missed a day, and then I was half a day yesterday. But I did make a lot of content this week outside of just this show. So there's a lot of stuff online. I appreciate everybody. Shout out to Justin for moderating the YouTube. I do appreciate you. Y'all get out see him at Martin's of Livingston. He'd be bartending out there during the day. Sit at the bar. Chop it up a little FAFO with him. Make sure you tip him good. And I appreciate everybody. Don't forget the sale going on right now over on the website. I got it all day today. I got it set to midnight tonight. So if you missed it during the live show, if you're watching this on the YouTube later or on listening on the podcast or whatever, if you'll go and order, it's 50% off. BuyFAFO.com. Use the promo code Friday. Buy up to 10 items. Somebody said it wasn't working. If it will work, I can assure you. Anyway, I will see y'all back here Monday. You never know if news breaks, I break with it. You may see me over the weekend pop up live sometime or making some videos or something. We shall see. Lord willing and the creek don't rise, I'll be back here Monday, 7:07. Peace.